Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, welcome to Geek Syndicate episode 362, and we're doing what we always do. We're bringing the sass back to geekdom. I am Monts, and with me, as always, is...
Well, the world is burning with despots, media moguls, and varying people just trying to destroy things. But we're still here, trying to throw a few buckets of cold water on it, just trying to make a bit of a difference, maybe raise a chuckle or two. And I'm the niche people.
Yeah, chuck a cold bucket of water on it. Unlike that car in Australia, if you're Barry. I just found a news article from Australia, and the title says 57-year-old man sets fire to a car trying to kill a spider. And that I imagine, you know what I mean, if I heard that, Barry Nugent, of Northampton set fire to a car trying to kill a spider, I wouldn't be unsurprised.
I was going to say, was your first reaction when you read it was how old is Barry, and how did he get to Australia?
No, literally, I was like, no, Barry's not that age. So, where is it? Australia? Okay, it's not. I know Barry's been to Australia, and I know he ain't never going back. You know?
Nope.
So yeah, I was confused. I was confused, to be honest.
When people ask me how was Australia, I always say, well, I didn't see any spiders, so it was a win.
Do you know, I might have told you this before, that there's an episode of Peppa Pig that's been banned in Australia?
No.
It's an episode. It's an episode where Peppa makes friends with a spider, and apparently that is not encouraged amongst children in Australia.
Nor should it be for children around the world.
Making
friends with spiders. Nonsense, man. What's next? Making friends with Ewoks. You know what I say? The only good Ewok is a dead Ewok.
Wow.
Yeah. I've had half a glass of whiskey, so I'm going there.
Okay. I'm on coconut water, so I'm looking at the lucid clear light of day. It's a bit harsh, man.
Yeah, maybe so.
They help through the galaxy, man. They help through the galaxy.
It's the hill I'm gonna die on. Is it wrong that every time? See, this is really wrong, right? I given the fact how I opened this, trying to bring a bit of light to the darkness, and we're making a stand, making people.
And you're
laugh.
just kill all Ewoks,
right? Whereas now I'm kind of I'm probably the only person that chuckles a little bit in that bit of Return of the Jedi when the two
and one of them tries to wake the other one.
Wake the other one up, and he doesn't wake.
Oh damn! You're hot. Wow. Damn. I can't wait.
He's not moving because he's dead, man. Let it go.
I can't wait to listen to this episode to see if you keep that in, because. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Look, kids, if you're listening, man, Ewoks are okay, I guess.
Right then, so anyway, should we got any news?
You got your shout-outs?
Probably, but I can't think of no one. So
I got two shout-outs. The first shout-out I want to give is to Michael Mulcher of 2000 AD.
Yes.
Why are we giving him a shout-out?
I don't know, but I'm sure we talked about him earlier this week.
No.
Oh, I know why. I want to, but go on. You go.
Well, I wanted to give him a shout-out because he won an Eisner Award.
Yes, he did.
For his book, I Am the Law, How Judge Dredd Predicted Our Future.
I actually have it. I just haven't got around to reading it yet.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah, I plan to check it out, yeah. So, yeah, won his first Eisner. So, yeah, congrats, man.
In a week in which Keir Starmer announced, the possibility of special forces to deal with riots and stuff, and I'm like, this is how the judges started in Judge Dredd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fascist overlords that eventually took over. Anyway. Yeah,
Judge Dredd won't look so cool when he's kicking down your door, man.
Yeah, was it? I mean, we'll leave the fascist overtones there. Yeah, just pick up any episode of 2000 AD if you want to explore that.
Yeah, and my second shout out, I'd like to give a big round of applause to everyone who spoiled Wolverine and Deadpool for me in less than 24 hours after the film was released. Thank you.
I do not know what is wrong. I mean, how long have we been having this spoilers argument, man? What is wrong with people? It's like people are giving up. It's like people don't care no more.
I actually think this one was just to the point of, honestly, it sounds like I'm angry, but I'm not really that bothered. Which is what I kept saying. But I genuinely just could not believe like how short a space of time people just could not wait. And it wasn't even the fact that people were spoiling it. Like back in the day, you'd like maybe it's a little headline or a little tweet or something like that. And you go, oh, I've been spoiled. Whereas now it's like there's like whole video clips and screenshots and play by play stuff. And because you're on social media, you can't. Here's a putting spoiler warning in asterisks, and then you got a big ass screenshot right underneath it. Doesn't really work.
Yeah, nonsense.
Just little tip. Maybe do a couple of carriage returns to at least try and spread it out a little bit. But thoroughly you got thoroughly spoiled for me. So yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, to be honest, and then I think I spoke to someone and they said I made the comment to say like it'd been spoiled. It was like, oh well, you see that. Well, you should have gone and seen it on opening night, and I was like,
fuck.
Yeah. So one, you best back up, man.
No.
And two, not every one of us could like race to the cinema like
at a drop of a hat.
At a drop of a hat,
or even afford to these days.
So but again, I wasn't that bothered about it. But I was like that. But the argument that because I didn't see it the very day it came out, it's my fault. I'm like, look, if it was like 6 months down, so a lot of the time now, right? I wait for things to come on streaming, right? That's the choice I make. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. What did I watch the other day that I waited for? Might have been June 2, actually. To be fair, I knew it was going to happen, so it wasn't really spoil it. But, my thing is, if I wait for something to come out on streaming, that's on me. So if in a month's time, whatever, I stumble across something, well, okay, cool. And it's come off the cinemas, I'm like, how long can people wait? That's on me, right? That's my choice. But I'm sorry, either the same day or the next day, come on, man. And then Ryan Reynolds himself was just dropping spoilers on his own Instagram, probably about 4 days later. And I think the minute he did that, then it was open season and all the websites were doing it and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm raising my glass of whiskey to say, cheers.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. Right, let's leave the darkness behind.
Yeah.
I say that, but
it wasn't darkness. I said I'm not bothered about it.
No.
I just,
But it is nonsense. It is.
I might start randomly knocking on people's doors though. When they open the door, I'll just drop a spoiler.
You know what I mean? Should have got an opening night. It's opening night. What are you doing at home? You asked for this. You brought it on yourself. I just think the thing that gets me about that whole shebang is someone actually having the gall to say, well, you should have got an opening night. Honestly, I can't get my head around that.
Honestly, I had to just leave it. I just had to leave it. I'm too old. I'm just too old to get into that nonsense because I was like, if I get into this, it's gonna end badly. So I'm just gonna leave it. News.
I got one, and it's not fiction related. It's fact.
Okay.
And it's kind of just it's the kind of story that I might watch this movie, or it is going to be a movie one day, and they're going to make it dramatic, and I just hope it ends well. And you don't know if you've heard about the astronauts stranded on the International Space Station.
No.
Right. So the headline title I'm looking at right now from the Metro. So of course this is the title they'd go with. Astronauts stranded in space will unlikely be home for Christmas, NASA says. like that's the big problem here.
That's the concern.
You know what I mean?
Well, there goes Christmas. Tommy ain't getting no presents this year.
You know what I mean?
Is Dad coming home for Christmas, Mum? No, because he's probably going to burn up a re-entry if we don't sort something out.
Now, this for me is a story of the problem of privatization, if we want to get all political about stuff. So Sunita Williams and Barry Butch Wilmore, who kind of bringing it on himself, like butchering his name there. So Boeing has a Starliner, yeah? And that's what they took up to the International Space Station for an 8-day visit as part of a test flight.
Before you continue, can I just say, any aircraft that you're going to call Starliner and send out on a maiden voyage is it's like, have you not seen any disaster movies?
Or read a single science fiction book in your life?
Show me.
Do you know what I mean? All these people, it's like all these people inventing computer systems called Skynet.
No, sorry. I was on a call today at work with a consultant, and he had to share his screen, and I was looking at his let me just bring up my Wi-Fi so we can just check the configuration. And I was like, yeah, great. His Wi-Fi is called Skynet. I was like, man, are you crazy?
Yeah. I hate to be there, you bring it on yourself type person, but you kind of bring it on yourself.
You kind of bring it on yourself, man.
So these guys, they went up for 8 days, yeah? They've currently been up there for 2 months because the engineers detected a problem with Starliner.
Shocker.
With something to do with the engines. Now, here it goes. Exactly why 5 of the Starliner's capsule's 28 thrusters malfunctioned is unclear. Starliner's computer rebooted them to turn it off and turn it on again, and managed to get 4 to fire, albeit with diminished power. Starliner also suffered 5 helium leaks, the gas used to help power the thrusters. So until they can fix it, they're stuck up there. But there is a plan. There is like a plan B. Plan B is to say, fuck it, and get on Starliner and hope you can get home safe.
Do you know what, right? This to me sounds like an episode of Thunderbirds.
You know what I mean?
It sounds like, because in the pilot episode, it was that supersonic aircraft that couldn't land because they had a bomb in it. I think it was Firefly, and they had to get the three vehicles out. Man. Right?
And that was the one where my boy Virgil was sweating.
Honestly, that's what this sounds like to me. This sounds like this is a job for international rescue, man. So the only plan that they've got is to get on this.
NASA officials said today an audio briefing that no return flight has been confirmed so far, but going home on a Starliner in an emergency is the plan B.
Wow. So basically just get on it and hope.
And Ken Bowersox can do one, yeah? He's the Associate Administrator at NASA's Space Operations Mission Directorate, and he said in the briefing that William and Wilmore are well engaged on the ISS. I know if I was in their position, I'd be really happy to be there, he said. I'd be happy to have the extra time.
Would he, though?
They could be on board the ISS for another 8 months, Bowersox said.
Wow. As
they'd have to wait to hitch a ride from a scheduled flight home from SpaceX.
I mean, you're in space, right? Hitching a ride ain't really that easy.
Man.
Wow.
So I'm like, Bowersox could do one because he ain't up there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
He ain't up there going, I was meant to go home 2 months ago.
You know what I mean? He sounds like the mayor from Jaws. Do you know what I mean? Open up, yeah, it's fine. Come on down, everything's fine.
Yeah. Oh man. And then NASA's chief astronaut Joe Akeba just chips in. If the mission was a test flight, they knew this mission might not be perfect. No, come on, man.
There's knowing it might not be perfect, and you might never come back. It's a good chance you might never come back.
I know. You think if you're sending someone up there that you'd be pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like Apollo 11 was run on computer systems which were like, you know what I mean? That's like Commodore 64. Do you know what I mean? And now you got all this state of the art stuff, and now you're screwing up. Like, man, something ain't right.
And your answer is literally, well, they knew the risks. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's it. That's your answer.
Yeah.
Look, man. So look, enough of this nonsense, man. Someone just call it International Rescue and just let them sort it out.
Exactly. International Rescue is your time.
In this day and age, how we don't have an International Rescue is beyond me anyway.
It's because our millionaires aren't funding it. Because let's face it, that's always the thing about International Rescue. Who was funding that? I mean, how wealthy was Jeff Tracy?
I mean, he was pretty wealthy because they did live on an island.
Yeah, fair.
And they did the thing. I have to say, right, with Thunderbirds, they worked hard and they played hard because, like, every episode kind of ended with them just chilling around the piano, just drinking and like smoking and stuff. And I was kind of like, okay, I get the fact that the rescue's over. What if there's another? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if there's another situation? If everyone's half cut. Do you know what I mean? So it's all right, man. Let Captain Scarlet handle it, man. We're all, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's my news. I'm still processing it, to be honest.
Wow. I don't even know if I could top that, man. Well, I just want to give a brief. I'll be doing some more on this as the time passes, but I was going to give a brief shout out to Thought Bubble, which is obviously coming this year, and it's going to be held between the hang on. It's a comic festival, so it's between the 11th and the 17th of November, but the actual comic convention is the 16th and the 17th of November, which is Harrogate Convention Centre. I did hear that I think they're starting to run a little low on tickets, so if people are interested and want to go, then head over to thoughtbubblefestival.com, where it's all the info and pick up tickets and whatnot. They've got... I mean, I'm hoping to go this year to try and get me a creative spark going again. I think it's been a couple of years since I've actually done any convention, really. So I would like to really try and go. And interestingly, I've just noticed, I think one of their headline guests, hang on, Sadarsky, who I'm pretty sure he wrote one of the comics that I want to talk about in Week That Was that I absolutely loved. So if it is the same guy, which I'm pretty sure it is, then I'm definitely going to try and see if I can meet him. There's a lot of other, obviously there's loads of other people that are going. James Tyrion the 5th. Sweeney Bow, Tini Howard, Jimmy Rosa, Ram V. You met him, didn't you? Lewis Hancock's.
Like his work.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be talking about it a little bit more as we sort of get closer. Maybe do a little special or something. But yeah. Thought Bubble's coming, peeps.
That just made me feel old, you know. Because what I realise is I see a lot of names these days, and I don't recognise them.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
Yeah, there's a lot making me feel old, but there you go.
Yeah. To be honest, just waking up makes me feel old.
Mate, I ain't even going to get into that. I'm sorry. Not even going to get into Right, I guess it's time for the week that was.
Yeah, or more like the I don't know, the 3 months that was.
Mate, so much. Right, hold on. I just got to send you something in the chat. Anyway, back on track.
Right.
Week that was.
Week it was.
3/4 of the year that was. So then I'm gonna start with this because I've gone into Aliens. I've gone down an Aliens rabbit hole. And it started with the fact that I did some work with an audio producer called Dirk Max. And I was saying on Facebook once that I wanted some alien stuff to listen to. I wanted some audio dramas to listen to. And he goes, well, if you like aliens, which he didn't know, he goes, we did some. And it fits into the canon like this. So I started to look at it. And now I'm properly gone mad. So here's the order. If you're interested, watch Prometheus, because this is a chronological order.
Yeah.
So watch Prometheus, watch Alien Covenant, watch Alien. Play Alien Isolation. Nope. But they also did a digital series of that. So you can play and watch it.
Have you played Alien Isolation or seen?
Literally just downloaded it from my phone.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
I'm already shitting myself.
No. I was watching someone play it. I wasn't even playing it. And I was like, I am never playing this game on my own.
It's the noises.
Yeah.
You can't quite tell where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But And then I was this one bit, I'm in this control room. I'm like, what do I do? And I managed to get some power on. And I just said to myself, go, man, go, go. And I looked out, I just saw some people running. I'm like, wait, come back. I need to know I'm on my own here. And they were gone. When I went, they were gone, locked the door behind them. I was like, what? People in this place are scared. So you got Alien Isolation, which you can play or watch.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can watch, well, when it's released, Alien Romulus, but that's where Romulus fits in between. If you just go with the films, it's between Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
But it's after Isolation. So you got Isolation, Romulus. Then you can listen to Alien Out of the Shadows. Alien Out of the Shadows. So I listened to that. Right. So the conceit in that is that what's the name of the synthetic in it?
Bishop.
No, that's the synthetic in Aliens.
Oh,
Oh God. You know what I mean? Anyway, the synthetic downloads himself into the computer in the shuttle that Ripley's in.
Oh, okay.
And basically gets her floating out in space in the hope that they can find
Ash.
Ash downloads himself and he takes over the thing and gets him floating out in space. And they're picked up by a mining station. But the miners have found an alien, and aliens get on board the station, and Ripley's unfortunate enough to be involved in this all over again. And in the end, she kind of, they explain it. Well, anyway, she gets, there are reasons why it's not mentioned in it. They make it work in the canon so that it's mentioned again. And then the next one is Alien River of Pain, which is the story of the colony before the Marines get there.
Ah, okay.
And let me tell you, this one broke me because you know how it's going to end.
Yeah,
you already know that there's only one survivor and it's Newt. Yeah. And the tension, because now it's written by a guy called Christopher Golden. I've listened to some of his stuff with Hellboy, his audio stuff with Hellboy and Lobster Johnson. And my problem with him is that it takes him a long time to get to the action because he builds up the world and builds it up almost a bit too much.
I listened to the Lobster Johnson audio. I started to, and given how much I love Lobster Johnson, I actually stopped it. I was kind of couldn't really get into it.
I pushed myself to get through it.
Okay.
But I can see why. I can actually see why. This is not as drawn out, but there's a reason. It takes a long time for stuff to start happening. But in a way, you kind of appreciate it more when stuff does happen because he's given you a lot of time to get used to people.
Yeah.
And it's got Anna Friel in it. It's got Colin Salmon in it. It's got Philip Glenister in it. There's some people in it, and it's just so painful, because you know how it's kind of Columbo. You know how it ends. It's just working out how you get there, and it's like, oh. And after that is Aliens, and then you can listen to Aliens 3, which is the original William Gibson script, but it's got Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen, who were Bishop and Hicks in it.
Yeah.
So in the original one, they survived. And then you watch Alien Resurrection, and then you listen to Alien Sea of Sorrows. That's how it goes. But in this deep dive, I decided that, my daughter is 13. Can she handle Alien and Aliens? So, okay, we sat down, we watched Alien. So how old is Alien now? What, 40 years old? Something like that?
Something like that. I still haven't watched Alien end to end.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you know what? Aliens, that's all right. Running and gunning. I'm like, I would have that. But that first one, nah, man. Nah.
1979, that was.
Okay.
So I'm watching it, and I remember in this interview where the director said, he deliberately did it so that nothing really happens for 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my daughter struggled with that 40 minutes. She struggled. She was on her phone. She was doing this. She was messing around with the dog. She did a handstand. Do you know what I mean? I was like, and once it kicked off, she was in. But she's still, because it's quite slow and tense, she was still like easily distracted, but she was in. And I said, "You glad you watched it?" She went, "Yeah, sure."
Wow.
Like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay. And then she goes, I wanted to watch it. She goes, I wanted to watch it in order. Because I wanted her to watch Aliens because I thought she could engage with that. She goes, you wanted me to watch Aliens, but I wanted to have it in order. So that fine. Aliens, she was in it from start to finish.
Damn right.
Start to finish the whole way. Oh, and she was screwing with Lambert in Alien.
Was he the weasel?
She,
Oh,
not in Aliens, in Alien. So Alien, she's one of the female characters in
oh,
the
yeah,
ship,
yeah, yeah.
and she's just. I mean, she's not coping. She ain't coping. You know, you got to feel for her. And there's a bit where they're trying to get oxygen cylinders or something, and the alien rears up, and she looks at it, and she's daring the headlights here. She can't move, and Parker is like, get out of the way, get out of the way. He's got his flamethrower. He's like, get out of the way, get out of the way. And she can't move. So he runs it. He takes a run at it instead of using the flamethrower, and he gets mashed up. And
Parker the brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Alana was vexed. She was like, you stupid woman. You stupid woman. What's wrong with you? I hate her.
You've got to love that audience participation, man.
Yeah. And she was all over, but she was all over Aliens, and I thought it's really interesting. I don't know if I can take her. I don't know how she'd deal with Aliens 3 watching it. It's hard to know. I don't know if we're going to go there. I think she would also be absolutely heartbroken to see that Newt and Hicks don't make it.
Yeah, that always bothered me.
I know, to go through all of that, and it wasn't even like important death. They just crashed and blah.
Yeah.
And Alien, I'm halfway through listening to Aliens 3, and I'm so glad they're in it. I'm so glad. It kind of salutes what they went through. But what is more interesting for me, I think I liked Alien. I'm not an Aliens 3 film hater, but
No,
not at all. But this version I think is better because it does a lot more universe building. So, you know, we've got our corner of the universe, and there's another corner which is run by the United Peoples Planetary whatever, and it's almost like they're the communist version of the capitalist part of space. You see what I mean? And, you know, they got conflicts between them and all that. And it's like, oh, you're showing me other corners of this universe now. And I just think it's more interesting. But there we go.
Nice. You've made me. My takeaway from that is I need to go rewatch Aliens because it's been quite a few years since I've watched.
Don't make the mistake I did. Make sure you're watching the director's cut.
Do you know what? I don't actually think I've ever seen the director's cut.
It's much better. It's 50. Because I was watching it, I was like, I can't wait to get to this bit to see Alana's face. Those bits never came. So in the director's cut, you actually get to see the colonists.
I've never seen director's cut.
And actually, what's interesting is Dirt Mags brought back some of the actual actors who were the colonists in it for the audio adventure River of Pain.
Okay.
But yeah, and also there's stuff like in it, there's automatic gun placements, which it's really mad watching them like trying to focus on all the aliens coming, and they aren't in it, and it's like, so it's 17 minutes longer with the director's cut, and I think it's a better movie.
It's amazing sometimes with some of the director's cuts when you look at the extra stuff and you think, God, that makes it such a better movie. And a lot of the time it's like an extra 20 minutes, an extra like 10, 20 minutes. You're like, wow.
And the reason that they had a theatrical cut like that was because of the suits going, no, it's too long. Make some cuts. And you're like, actually, those cuts that's a real shame.
Yeah. Anywho. So for me, because I've been a bit of like you've been on an Aliens tip, I've been on a Batman tip. So it's quite good actually because I've got a film, comic, and TV show. So to start with, I rewatched The Batman, which was the latest one with my boy.
Good movie.
And I have to say, when I watched it the first time, I was quite tired when I watched it.
I remember you saying.
And it's a long film, right? And I came away going, I really enjoyed it. But there was a part of me that felt like I don't think I gave it fully its due. And I feel like I almost sleptwalk a little bit through the second half of it. So it dropped onto Amazon Prime and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get some snacks, sit down and check it out again. And let me tell you, I'm so glad I did it, man. I love that film. No,
it's a good film. And I thought the relationships between Batman and like supporting cast were really good. They weren't overdone. They made sense.
Also, it's a good way. Like I said, it might not be for everyone's, might not work for everyone, which is something I'm going to come on to with the other stuff I'm going to mention. But it was just a different way to look at to do Batman, which is what I quite liked. I quite liked the focus was less on the he was still beating up people and on grappling hooks and whatnot, but I liked the focus on the detective side of things. It just gave it a different vibe. I think some people called it a bit like it was a little bit like Batman Does Seven.
Yeah,
And I feel that's quite a good way to look at it. In the way they did the Riddler in this film was brilliant.
yeah.
And I'd quite happily take more films and you kind of move him into that kind of arch nemesis role rather than it constantly being the Joker. Anyway, so that's the first thing. Second thing is I watched Batman Caped Crusader, which is on Amazon Prime.
I have watched the first 3 episodes, I think.
Okay. So what do you think?
I'm really enjoying it. Are you not?
No. I was going to say, so I've seen some stuff where people haven't liked it. They've said it's slow, said it was boring, blah 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 blah.
Maybe I'm old. I don't mind the slow.
Yeah, I've watched it all, right? And to begin with, it's set in the 30s and it's pulp noir. That's what that's the vibe they're going with.
Love
right?
a bit of period.
And it's almost like they're like, well, who can we get to do that? Well, let's bring in Ed Brubaker as a producer. Well, it's job done, isn't it?
Say no more. Say no more.
It's job done. Plus, I think he wrote a couple of the episodes. One of the episodes definitely he'd written. It might have been episode 3 actually. But I absolutely love this show, and I love the way they do the Batman in this show. He don't mess about, man.
No.
He don't mess about. And I shouldn't laugh, right? But the way he treats Alfred, man.
You know what? I don't know why Alfred's still there. I'll be honest. I don't know.
I get it, right? I get the fact that, like, you were friend, obviously you've been butler into the family for years and years, and you obviously like respect the ways, and you're the only sort of person the kid knows, and blah blah blah. But I'm sorry, man, you treat me like that, man. I had in my papers in, man. I'm gone.
For real. He's just rude, man.
It is a mild spoiler, but there's a bit where like Alfred's trying to, like in all the Batmans, right? Alfred's like his conscience is trying to reason with him and tell him stuff, right? That's just Alfred, right? There's a bit in there where he's trying to tell him something, and he's like, "Look, Master Bruce, I feel like maybe you're going a bit too far down this road, blah blah." And he gives me a big speech, and Batman just goes, he doesn't even turn around from like the map, and he's like, "This coffee's cold."
But like I said, I'm 3 episodes in, and I don't understand why my boy's still there.
Mate, it only gets worse. I was gonna say, but what I love about this is when you get to the end of this series, you suddenly go that there's an arc here.
Right,
it's subtle, but there's an arc, and you really and it's so subtle you don't realize it until you get to the end, and you go, oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, this is weird, and it's not a story arc. I would say it's a character arc, and it's a character arc for Batman. And I was like, oh, okay, because like I said, man, this. Have you seen? So you haven't got to the flashback stuff when he's like a kid.
I think I've. Yeah. No, there's a bit where there's a bit where Alfred's in bed and this kid just goes up. I'm like, and my boy ain't blinked in hours. Yeah. Like, oh man, this kid's haunted. Do you know what I mean?
They're all gonna pay, and you're gonna help me close the door. Man, I wouldn't sleep again, man. Because I'm sorry. Nah, this ain't your mama's this ain't your mama's Batman.
Yeah, right. I mean, oh cold. Man.
And also the other thing about this show is, which I feel, because I know Bruce Timm has been involved, is that This ain't the Batman we watched as a kid, where like Batman would where people would things would happen to people, but they weren't really dead. People die in the show, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's I ain't got over that. Like
That
that
was
bedroom
cold, man.
scene.
That
Yeah,
scene was so cold. But
yeah,
I just think it's a cracking show, and obviously I think Bruce Timm is getting to do the Batman he wanted to do,
yeah, yeah.
because you know the Batman animated series was all but set in the 30s. It just, do you know what I mean? It just never really went as far as it's gone this time around.
I'm loving the periodness of it, man.
Me too. Me
I
too.
remember when they were talking about doing the Wonder Woman TV series, and they had what's her name up for it, who's in that science fiction show Orville. Oh,
Oh
what's her name?
yes, yes. I
Yeah,
can't remember what her name was.
and the original discussions was that it would be a period piece, and the studio was like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, do you know what? I would have loved a period Wonder Woman.
I think a lot. I think certain heroes work really well as period pieces.
And also,
You
it's
only have to look at
where they
Captain
were
America.
conceived, and a lot of their you know what I mean, their costumes, their ways of being is centered around another time.
Yeah,
Now we
yeah,
keep updating them, but initially their initial things are from another time, and I'm like, yeah, well, let's see that.
yeah. Which is why I think Captain America worked so well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there was that. But lastly, to round us up, I've read Batman the Night.
Batman the Night. I don't think I know this.
So this was it's a 10 issue limited series written by, yeah, it is written by him, Chip
Chip
Zdarsky,
Zdarsky.
illustrated by Carmine Di Giamacchio. Apologies. Um, and this
Just
is,
looking up genre neo noir superhero.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is, the blurb is, the origin of Batman and his never-ending fight against crime in Gotham City is muffin mythology, but what of the story in between? So
Okay.
for
So
start writing,
my first response is like origin, and I'm looking at the first issue, the cover of the first issue, and I'm like, again, that's what's gone through my mind.
okay, right. Let me break it. Let me just tell you this, right? I've read all of this now,
Yeah.
because I think I don't know if it's come off now. It was on Kindle. It looks like it's still on Kindle Unlimited,
So I'm literally searching as you're talking.
right? It's, you can get it in the hardcover for $24.95. There's 11 left in stock. I'm thinking I probably will. I might just go sod it and I might buy the hardcover. I haven't bought a hardcover in probably about
Yeah,
4
yeah, yeah.
years, right? Because it was that good. And I feel the fact that I've read it digitally is lovely and I've enjoyed it, but I feel like I want it as a hardcover because I would go back and read it. The reason why I loved it is, so basically what this is this is the story that me and you have always wanted to see, where it's Batman traveling the world. Well, it's not even Batman, it's Bruce Wayne traveling the world, learning from different mentors to become Batman.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it ain't like how they do it in Batman. I'm not dissing Batman Begins because I love that film, but one of my things with Batman Begins was he literally went off and became a ninja. That was his training,
Yeah.
right? Whereas in this one, my boy is going to see everyone. He's learning about like how to withstand torture, interrogation
That
techniques,
noise was
how,
Amazon telling me it's in my Kindle Unlimited library.
nice, how to be the best marksman, how to be this, how to be that, blah blah blah, and it's brilliant. It is brilliant. I loved it, and the art, man, the art is glorious.
There
Couple of
is.
familiar.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
No, go on. There's something
I was gonna
completely
say a
different.
couple of familiar. There's one familiar face pops up at the end where I was kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and I like it. A lot of the things they do, I just like, and I like that he doesn't. It's not like he's decided I'm going to be Batman now. I need to go and be trained. The whole point of this is him just deciding that I'm
He
gonna
needs to
go
do
off and do
something.
something. I need to do something.
Yeah.
But to do it, I need to be the best at everything. And it's awesome, man. And
It's
big
really
up to Matt
interesting.
Williams because I was going to say Matt Williams off the group. He suggested this one, and yeah, big up to him because I'd never even heard of it.
No, what I'm finding interesting, because it suggests like, recommended for you based like Amazon's going recommended for you based on Batman the Knight, and one of them is Tom King, and we like Tom King,
Yeah.
doing The Human Target.
Yes, he did do the human. Is that
That's from
on Unlimited
21.
now?
Yeah, I think it is.
Ooh.
Let me click on it. It is on Unlimited.
Ooh,
I can hear you tapping away. And I'm in.
And I mean, oh yeah, first 2 volumes, yeah. And see, little side rant. One of the things about Kid Unlimited, I think, is great for me personally. I really like it because I've currently got Riddler, One More Bad Day or something. A couple of two Batman trays that are written by Chip that Matt recommended. Gotham City Year One's in there. But my thing is that 9 times out of 10, unless someone tells me, it's really difficult to find stuff on King Unlimited.
Yeah.
And also, I do think since the demise of Comixology, I do think indies have taken a real hit on the digital front.
Yeah.
Because again, even if indies are on there, they're never front and center. And again, you've got to know what you're looking for. But yeah. So that's my car. So I've been in a real sort of Batman tip. But yeah, you'd love that one, Batman the Night. You'd love it once. Trust me.
Nice.
I know what you're saying about we've seen the origin before, but I don't think we have.
I'm taking you. Listen, man, I know you. I'm taking your word on that. I'm not
Okay.
interested in. I mean, I've had so much prep to do for different things. My reading has taken a real back seat to everything. Well, I've just been watching stuff and listening to stuff on my journeys. So I'm just going to mention one thing before we call it for the night. So after Doctor Who, after me getting vexed about Russell T Davis's handling of race in Doctor Who, and just left feeling real unsatisfied with a show I love, just handling something that's so important to me in a way I consider to be really badly handled. I was like, boy, well, I'm just going to dive straight into Supercell. I don't know if I've mentioned Supercell on the show before. I don't think so.
No, but I know this is the Netflix show, isn't it?
Yeah, so it says Supercell follows a random group of ordinary people from South London who unexpectedly develop superpowers with no clear connection between them other than them all being black. So, I went into it cautiously. English superhero stuff has never really kind of gone big. Well, no, tell a lie, because what was that Channel 4 one? Misfits was great.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, I don't know, black people meets Misfits.
Right, black people meets Misfits.
That's all I got.
Hey, I'm a misfit. Hey, I'm black.
Fusion. And I don't know, coming off the back of Doctor Who and my disgruntledness, I loved the hell out of this. And literally before we started talking tonight, I saw that season 2 has been greenlit, and I'm like, there's no way you could leave that undone. There's more to come. I loved it. I didn't find any weak links in it. I love the story. Wow. I love the plotting. Yeah, and it's got Tosin Cole in it, who was one of the fam from Jodie Walker's.
Yeah,
and I remember watching it.
Was he Ryan?
It was Ryan, and I remember watching it and going, "This guy's awful, acting wise. He's awful. I don't understand why he's there. I don't get it. He's awful. He is great in this. I don't know what's changed, but he is great in this, and I'm all over Supercell.
Okay.
And there's a young guy in it. He's a stereotypical on the estate running a gang. He's ruthless, but this young actor, he's killing it. He's killing it. I'm like, oh yeah, And there's another guy who's like a drug dealer. He's hilarious, but No, I don't know. I'm just loving it. I can't recommend Supercell enough.
Okay,
Personally,
well, I've just started.
I rampaged through it in about 2 days.
Wow. Well, I've just started watching the fourth season of the Umbrella Academy, which is the last season. So once I'm done with
Right,
that,
got to get on that.
I'm gonna hit Supercell. But before we do sign off, I've
We keep
got to
saying
say,
that.
I know, but I've got to say this because you know what I mean. Hopefully, me and you will record again soon, but you never know, man. I got to give you a big thank you, man, because you told me to
I know
like
where you're
check out.
going.
Yeah, you told me to check out Star Trek Prodigy, and I have to say, when you said that, part of me was like, "Is this fool crazy?" Because I see the screenshots, man. This don't look all that. You know what I mean? I
So
was like,
people
oh,
want to
okay,
know Star Trek Prodigy is a cartoon, and it's got a bunch of kids from in the Star Trek universe getting up to hijinks. That's what it looks like.
yeah, it just looks proper cookie cutter. And I was like, okay. But I'm like, it's Mont. Honestly, if it'd be anyone else, I probably would have been like, nah, he could do one. But I was like, it's Mont. I'll give it a go. He's putting it on the line. I'll give it a go. And I think when you were saying this to me, and I said to you, how many episodes? He said, yeah, each season is like 20 episodes. I'm like, you what? I was like, you're stretching this friendship thing, this lifelong stretching thing is getting stretched, man. So I'm like, but okay, I'll give it a go. So put it this way, I don't know how long ago it was you told me. Let's say it was about 3 weeks
What, a
ago,
week and a half.
week and a half ago. I've rinsed both seasons.
Hello.
I'm done. Prodigy's done. I cannot recommend this show enough. It it's Star Trek. That's all I can say.
It's proper Star Trek.
It's proper Star Trek.
It's got heart. It's got
Ah,
spaceships. It's got people put it on the line, and even the character that is the most annoying one. You come to a point where you go, "Okay, I get it. I get it."
yeah. I get his deal.
Yeah,
And there's some real, like you said, put it on the line. Don't even come close. There's some real epicness in both seasons, man. May the stars protect them. It's just
yeah.
epic.
I mean, there's certain bits where you go, right. There's no organization would trust a bunch of kids with a starship. But
Yeah,
still,
yeah,
let's just put that aside.
yeah. You got to take some stuff with a pinch of salt. And I love
Yeah,
the way that there's cameos in there, but the cameos make sense within the story. They're not just chucked in just because, hey, look, kids. Um, there's some, the stories. Given the fact I don't know what age group it's supposed to be aimed at, but I mean, the story. I mean, effectively, it's kind of one story, isn't it? Really.
yeah.
But you got time travel in there, and time travel with it, you got to really concentrate.
But it works. It
But it
works.
works.
Yeah.
I love the fact they even take a little moment to kind of pause it and almost have someone kind of explain what time paradoxes are and stuff.
Yeah. That was nice.
But yeah, cracking show, fantastic score. I'm currently listening to the score on Spotify. Yeah, great score. Good pick, Monts, man.
Well,
Hope it gets a third
likewise. I
season.
mean, I was going to watch this anyway, but while we're talking about animated shows, I was going to watch it anyway, but you kind of got me back onto it, and I watched this with Alana, my oldest. Jurassic World: Chaos Theory.
What do you think?
Hardcore. That
It's
stuff was
hard, isn't it?
hardcore. And the very last scene on the last episode, I was like, "What?" And looked at each other and went, "There must be another season. There has to be." And I've seen that there is. Starts in October.
Yeah.
I was like, "What? That show don't play."
I'm telling you, and
And the
again,
only thing it
right?
doesn't do, which I think it could do, because when I think about things like Captain Scarlet, when the man used to kick away a jack and drop a car on top of a mechanic, and we watched
Yeah.
that as kids, yeah. And Joe 90 was a kid agent shooting people, stuff. So they don't actually show anyone dying, but that doesn't mean people ain't dying.
But you know people are dead.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? You know people are dead in that show, man.
yeah.
And it feels like, especially if you've watched the first show, like Camp Cretaceous, and this is set, I think, is it set like 6 years later or something?
Something like that.
So they're all a bit older and whatever. But that's how you do a follow-up show, man.
Oh, so yeah, I was like, where are they going to go from here? But wow, they went in hard. Don't
Yeah,
mess
yeah, yeah.
about. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Show's tough, man.
It is, yeah, it is.
No, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
Right. Round
All
us
right.
up, buddy.
Yeah. So once again, whew, yeah, that last one has just left me breathless. So you know what to do. Let us know if you've enjoyed some of the stuff we have, or if you think we're talking nonsense and you hated the stuff that we liked, and vice versa. Let us know if there's anything out there where you think we should be checking out, especially comics, because it's getting harder and harder to know what to get, and it's getting harder it's getting harder to afford comics, but that's by the by. Anyway, let us know. You can do that by emailing us at geeksyndicate.co.uk, or find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. What else we on? Whatever. Just find us on social media, and if you fancy it, buy us a coffee. You can do that on buy us a coffee or kofi.com. One of them.
Yeah, Kofi.com
And Patreon.
or Patreon.
Yeah. Go on.
And also we have a private, I don't know if you mentioned it, but we have a private Facebook group. It seems even more important these days to have a private Facebook group.
Yeah, don't it?
But if you links are in the show notes. So if you want to come in, we've got a load of members in there. It's good times, it's fun times. We talk geek stuff, and it's all very polite, and everyone's nice.
Indeed, they are. So, till next time, which I'm hoping won't be as long as since last time.
Fingers
This is
crossed.
Geek Syndicate. We out.